Hi, friends. So, I want to start off today by telling you a story about when I was a kid. Actually, I was a really little kid. I was only, I think, about 3 years old. I'll have to check with my parents to be sure about that. But this is a story about when I got lost. Have you ever been lost? You can share, if you have, you can share that story with your teacher in a few minutes. So I was 3 years old and I was on vacation with my parents and my grandmother in a place called Deadwood, South Dakota. Doesn't that sound like kind of a weird place? It's actually a really cool place. It's a nice town, but it has a kind of a scary name. But it's really not a scary place. My parents were on vacation there with me and my baby brother. He was just teeny tiny, and my grandmother. And they were walking around, just shopping, enjoying the things that were going on in the town in Deadwood, South Dakota. And my parents went one way and my grandmother went the other way, and they both thought that they had me with them, like the other person had me with them, and neither of them realized that nobody had me with them. I was only 3 years old, and in this crowded city, Deadwood, South Dakota, I got lost. Now, I don't know if I knew that I was lost, because I was only 3 years old, but when my parents and my grandmother got back together, and they realized that nobody had me, they knew that I was lost, and they were really scared. Can you imagine how your parents would feel if you got lost? That would be really scary, wouldn't it? Well, they looked and looked and looked. They were running all over the city trying to find me. Every place they had gone, they were looking. And finally, my grandmother walked past the front of a store and she saw me, little 3-year-old Dave, sitting in the window eating a lollipop. And so she rushed into the store and she went up to the counter or she probably went and grabbed me. And then the owner came out and the people that were working there and said, "Oh yeah, somebody just brought him in." And when my grandmother asked me, "How did you get here?" I said, "My friends brought me here." And I wasn't scared at all, apparently. They gave me a lollipop, so I thought everything was okay. I didn't know I was lost, but my parents and my grandmother, they sure knew that I was lost, and they were really afraid. Well, today you guys are going to hear a story about when Jesus' parents lost him. Now, he didn't think that he was lost. He was older than me. He was 12 years old. But Jesus didn't think he was lost, but his parents, they sure thought that he was. So listen carefully to this story as your teacher tells you, and then you'll have some time to talk about being lost. I love you guys, and I can't wait to see you back in church at the table.